Okay, so on Wednesday we talked about negative exponents, and we discovered that 2 to the negative 1 would be 1/2. 2 to the negative 2 was 1/8, or 4th, sorry. 2 to the negative 3 is 1/8. And 2 to the negative 4 is 1/16. So we talked about the rule, okay, and the rule is a to the negative n equals 1 over a to the nth. Okay, so the key here is that negative exponents mean you take the reciprocal of the base then raise it to the positive exponent. Okay, so once you take the reciprocal of it, the exponent becomes now positive. Yes? Okay. Okay, let's do a couple of examples that are easy. Okay, so 2, or I did 2, so let's do 3. 3 to the negative 2 is what, class? 1 over 3 squared, which is 1 over 9. This is a 9, not an A. Okay, then we have another example. I'll put it here. What about 1 over 2 to the negative 2? What's the reciprocal of 1/2? 2 over 1. So that equals 2 over 1 squared, which is just 4 over 1, which is 4. Okay? Yes? Correct. Okay? When you have a negative exponent, it just means flip it upside down. The reciprocal, that's what a reciprocal is. And make the exponent positive now. Any questions over that? We're good? Okay, on the back, let's do a bunch of problems and see how we do. Okay, we kind of need to review our rules of our powers, right? Because we're going to use some of our properties of exponents too. Okay. So everyone tries those first 3 on their own. Okay, so let's get to the first one. 3. Where's 3? Not here today? Okay. That's right, they're on the... Okay, Trinity, what did you get for the first one? Very good. So this should be 1 over 3 cubed, which is 1 over 27. Okay, this next one. Sam, you with me? Sam, what's the rule for exponents when you are multiplying things with exponents? What do you do with the exponents? You don't multiply them. You add them. So that's going to become 3 to the what power? To the first power, which is just 3. Now I saw a lot of you guys multiply it out, and that's fine. This would have been 1 over 3 cubed times 3 over 1. That then gave you 1 over 27 times 81 over 1, which gave you 81 over 27, which then, again, would equal to 3. I feel like just adding and subtracting the exponents is easier, but if you'd rather do it this way, you'll still get the same answer. Any questions over that? Okay? Okay, this one we are again going to do the reciprocal of both. So this has to move to the bottom. And since this one's already on the bottom, it needs to move to the top. So you're going to have 4 to the negative, not to negative 5 anymore, to the positive 5 now, divided by 4 cubed. And again, with exponents, there's a lot of different ways to do this. So if you did it a different way but got the right answer, you're good. Okay, so what is our rule? What's your rule for exponents when we're dividing things with exponents? What do we do with the exponents there? Subtract them, okay? So it's going to be 5 and then minus the 3. So it's going to give me 4 squared. Is the 4 squared on the top of my fraction or on the bottom of my fraction? Okay, why is it on top, Sandra? Because it's bigger, right? So this is over 1. Yes. No, because that's an exponent. Okay, if the 4 was by itself without the exponents, then you would divide the 4 divided by 4. But because it's the base right now, you're not going to divide that. So then you're going to get 16 over 1, which is just 16. Any questions over that? We're all good? Okay, so D, E, and F are very similar, but I want you guys to see the difference between all of them. Okay? So that's why we're going to do all 3 examples. This time, everything is to the negative 2 power. Okay, everything is to the negative 2 power because it's around the parentheses. So the 3 is to the negative 2, the x is to the negative 2 power. Okay, so everything flips. Okay? So it's not just the 3 that flips, not just the x, it's the whole thing. So now I'm going to get 1 over 3x cubed, the whole thing squared. Any questions over that? Okay. Now I can write this out twice. 1 over 3x cubed times 3x cubed. Which gives me 1 over 3 times 3 is 9. X cubed and x cubed is x to the 6th. Any questions over that? All good? Okay, in this one, notice only the x has a negative exponent. Oh, on this one? Okay, fix it to make it look like this then. How did that happen? Okay, fix it to make it look like mine. Okay, only the x has a negative exponent, so only the x will move. Will flip. Okay. The 3 will stay on top because it's not to a negative exponent. The x is going to move 3 on top divided by the x cubed. Once it moves, once it flips, it becomes a positive cubed. And then the whole thing is still squared. So now we can multiply it, write it out twice, and square it. Okay, so when you have a fraction, you have to multiply straight across. 3 times 3 is 9. Over x cubed times x cubed is x to the 6th. So it's 9 over x to the 6th, if you can't read that. Any questions over that? Okay, this one, notice they are both have negative exponents. Okay? So the x has a negative exponent and the whole thing has a negative exponent. Okay? So we're going to work our way from the outside in. Okay? Okay. So that means I'm going to focus on this one first, the negative 2, because that's on the outside. That negative 2 means the whole thing flips. Yes. What do you mean? Yes. I told you guys to switch it. Because I don't know why, I don't know what happened there. How you guys got one that's different than mine. Okay, so just switch those exponents because it was just the same problem repeated, right? Okay, so this one, we're going to flip the whole thing first because of the negative 2. So this is going to be 1 over 3x. This stays a negative 3 because I'm not dealing with that right now. I'm only dealing with this 2. And now this becomes a positive 2. Exponent of positive 2. Okay. Then I'm going to square it. So I'm going to get 1 over, oopsie, that was a 3. 3x cubed to negative 3, sorry, leave it as negative 3. times 3x to the negative 3. Again, still leave the negative exponent with the x. Okay, we're not dealing with that yet. Okay, that's going to become 1 over 3 times 3 is 9. And negative x to the negative 3 times x to the negative 3 is x to the negative 6. Still add the exponent. Now we're going to deal with the negative exponent. Now, the x is the only thing with a negative exponent. So it's the only thing that's going to move. Okay, it's on the bottom, so it has to flip to the top. So I'm going to have x to the 6th on the top divided by 9. Any questions over that? We're all good? Okay, let's do some more. Okay, now we're going to a little more complicated. Okay. Don't stress though. So I'm going to follow my rules of exponents. Okay. I'm going to reduce this first. And I should flip, right? Okay, again, you can do this a lot of different ways. So if you do it slightly different than I do it, to get the right answer, we're good. Okay? So on this, you can follow rules of exponents and add and subtract their exponents, or you can move the negative exponents. We're going to move the negative exponents. Okay. So I'm going to take this negative 4, x to the negative 4. It's the only thing with the negative exponent on top, and it's going to move to the bottom. So y, the negative 1, has the negative exponent, so it's going to move to the top. Any questions over that? Okay, anything without a negative exponent is going to stay where it is. So 3 is on top. I have the x to the negative 4 is moving, so I don't need that. I have the y squared, and then I'm bringing another y up. So y to the first is now here. And it becomes a positive exponent once I move it. On the bottom, the 15 stays where it's at. The x to the 6 stays where it's at. The x to the negative 4 is moving down. So that's going to be on the bottom now. And it becomes a positive 4 exponent. The y is now to the top, so we're good. Now we're going to simplify it further. Okay, it's going to be 3 y squared and y1 is y to the third, divided by 15, x to the 6th and x to the 4th. We're adding their exponents, so we're going to get x to the 10th. Oopsie. Are we done yet? Can that be reduced further? All right, the 3 and the 15 can be reduced. Okay? The 3 can go into 15 5 times. So there's a 1 on top and a 5 on the bottom. So we have 1 y cubed on top divided by 5 x to the 10th, or y cubed over 5 x to the 10th. You don't necessarily need that 1 in front. If you have it, you're not wrong. This just looks better. Any questions over that? Okay, everyone does h on their own. H, you're going to follow this idea first. Okay? So kind of look at S. for an example of how to do that. So you should get y to the 6th over 16 x to the 4th. That would be your answer. Huh? I didn't give math many, no. Correct. Just like we did in F. Right? The 9 didn't come with it. Even if it was a variable, another variable, it doesn't go with it because the only thing that was a negative exponent was that x. X to the negative 6. So that the y was the only thing with the negative 6, so it was the only thing that moved. Okay, next one. Let's see. I'm going to multiply this first. You could move the negative exponents first, and that's fine. You'll get the same answer. I think I'm going to multiply first and then move stuff. So I'm going to do 2 times 5. Class is what? 10. Okay, x to the what power? Hi. Good morning. To the 2? Yes. Y to the what? Very good. Anyone unclear as to how we got that? Okay, we're just adding the exponents. So 3 and negative 1 is 2, negative 4, negative 2 is negative 6. Now we can move things. Madison, what's going to move for me? Okay, the y to the negative 6 is going to move to the bottom. So I'm going to get 10x squared on top over y now to a positive 6. Any questions over that? Okay, now I need you guys to write. Okay, get rid of the word solve. This should be simplify. That's bad math speak right there. Solve and write how you simplify the expression. So you're going to solve it and then write the steps out as to what you were doing. How did you solve that? How is mine different? That is so weird. 4x squared y to the negative. Is it? Oh, maybe that's why I got switched. Okay, write down mine. Holy cow. Write down what I have here. Sorry. Good job. Again, work together.